This is Lundon Calling, show number 20, London Bridge talk show where we bridge the gaps with three generations of Gabby gays. Yes, we do. And bridging the generation gaps are your hosts, Sean Chandler, Donny Winter, and Ace Lundon. I am Ace Lundon, and as the elder, at age 80, I shall moderate the show with Sean at age 50 and Donny at age 25. And let's see how the generations think, or maybe think differently, for sure, maybe. Welcome to the show, folks. Please fasten your seatbelts. No topic is taboo, and we warn you in advance that I do have a potty mouth. So does Sean, and so does Donny. So there. And, folks, there is so much good in the worst of us and so much bad in the best of us. It is hard to tell these days which of us ought to reform the rest of us. Yes, that's true. Well, well, well. Donny and Sean, hello, hello.
Hi, guys. Hi, listeners.
Good evening, everyone.
Hey, do you guys celebrate anniversaries?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, I guess.
Yeah, well, you're not married, Donny, so you
I
do.
was I celebrate my cat's birthday. That's an anniversary, right?
There are other anniversaries besides wedding anniversaries.
Yes, that's true. Anyway, I was thinking that today, this is what is it, the 16th of August, 2016. Let's see, 38 years ago today was a memorable one for me. The moon was one of those moons that made you think the yard light outside must have been on because it was so bright. Beautiful, big, shining moon. And Patrick was alive at that time, and we were heading over to Griffith Park. You know where the observatory is, folks? Okay. Anyway, Griffith Park, because we were going to get married, and this was in 1978. 78. And so that's how many years is that? That is a long time. Anyway, it just seems like yesterday, and yet I celebrate this every year on August 16th because we did get married. Well, we didn't really get married, folks, because you couldn't get married back then if you were a gay couple. But there was a situation, so pull out your little history books because this will be a little lesson. Back in that day, Reverend Troy Perry had started what he called the Metropolitan Community Church. And it was over in Los Angeles, he started. And then he decided to put into the church, I don't know, not doctrine, but that they would perform a rite of holy union. Since we couldn't get married, he said the church would perform rites of holy union for us in the gay community that were coming out back then. And we, Patrick and I said to ourselves, well, we think we're married, do we need to have a certificate saying that we're married? And Patrick says, hey, it's a rite of holy union. I'd rather have a holy union than one of those legal unions that the state gives. So we decided, okay, we will get married in a rite of holy union. And Patrick and I talked about it, and we asked Reverend Perry, are people getting married this way? He says, well, you guys are, I can't remember if he said the 7th or the 10th. So we were in the very first group that ended up in a rite of holy union. And it was held in Griffith Park. It was outdoors. The moon was shining. There were about 100 of our friends and family there. Not many of my family. No, they didn't approve at all. And the ones that did approve couldn't get to the wedding. So, but Patrick had a family of 14 brothers and sisters, so That made up almost 100. You know, uh, it was a large, wonderful group of our family and friends, and we had the wedding there. Memorable, memorable, folks. This is how things started, and now look at what has happened. It is legal that gays can get married, actually married. So we've come a long way in 38 years. Now, Patrick's been in heaven for a long time too now. Wow. So, guys, Sean, how was your marriage?
Terrific.
Because you got married when it was legal, right?
We got married in between when the California Supreme Court judge declared it illegal to ban gay marriage, and the election night in November when Prop 8 was elected in by a very slim margin on the vote of the people. We got married then, and then our marriage stayed in flux for like 4 years as to whether or not it was going to be. I mean, well, for a long time, we didn't know if we were going to stay married because all of that was being manipulated by the upper level courts. And then it was decided by the Supreme Court of the United States that Prop 8 would stay, but also the marriages that had been performed during the window would stay as well. So we were like an anomaly for 3 or 4 years while the whole thing chugged through the courts, and then finally Prop 8 was overturned, and then we had marriage equality throughout the United States, and and as we see, the heavens have not opened and rained down thunderbolts on everybody, and we're all doing just fine.
Yeah, that's amazing. It was such a big to-do before all of that crap, and now, I know so many married gays and lesbians. Just amazing, and it's been a peaceful transition, So all that fear mongering, I hate when politicians do that, but they do it.
Yeah, just like don't ask, don't tell. The worst things in the world were going to happen. Showers were going to become, dens of sin and just homosexual sex all over, spilling out and through the drains, and nothing has really happened except people are more comfortable with themselves and more proud of serving their country.
Yeah, it's really crazy, but we're going through another election period now, and fear-mongering is still number one on their agenda. And it's not just the Republicans, it's also Democrats. They fear-monger the population. I just wish that the population were a little smarter, so that it wouldn't be taken in by all of that,
I think I wish the population would just question things more, because they just seem to take people's words at face value. They don't try to analyze or research anything. They believe everything they hear.
Yeah, like did you know that President Obama is a Muslim and he was born in Ghana or someplace? And they say, no, I didn't know that. Well, da-dee-da, They don't stop and say, are you kidding me? Where did you come up with that asinine? Oops, I said a word. We don't stop. You're right. We don't stop and think, and they just keep coming. Just keep coming.
Well, explain your comment as far as the Democrats go with fear mongering.
Well, I try not to listen to any more politician speeches. I'm just sick and tired of them all because we've heard them over and over. And if you listen to Trump, it's the same thing every time. And if you listen to Hillary, she gives the same speech over and over and over. So I'm saying, okay, enough is enough. I've heard all you have to say. I've already made up my mind what I'm going to do now. It took me a long time to get to this point this time because it's been such a freakish time, and I can come out of my closet now. Oh my God, and say I wouldn't vote for Trump. Yeah, if if, if I had a gun to my head, you know, the man is very, very disturbed. Uh, and as formerly being in psychology, I don't know, you can just take my word for it or you don't have to. But he is a disturbed person. And you know, folks, there have been numerous world leaders like Adolf Hitler, etc., Mussolini in Italy. These were disturbed but brilliant men that that managed to con their way into their presidencies. And I'm saying this, oh my God, could happen for America with Donald J. Trump. He could become the next president, and we'd have a literally, I don't know, he's not insane. He's just mentally and emotionally disturbed and kind of maniacal. Anyway.
I don't know about you guys, but if he weren't running for the position of the leader of the free world, I'd say keep talking crazy because it's kind of funny.
Yeah. By the way, what do they call those?
He goes to
Sean, what do they call those kind of shows on television that he had? That You're Fired show, he did that one, and Survivor. Oh my God,
reality TV shows.
Is that what they call them?
I think so. At least I think that's what his would qualify as.
Oh. Yeah, it's a reality TV show. His was, I guess, a reality competitive series, and it was called The Apprentice. By the way, just so you guys know, we're experiencing a storm in New York City right now as we're recording, so that's what you're hearing.
I can hear the thunder. It's such a comforting thing to hear.
I was going to say it's very scintillating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Just so you know, there's not bombs going off everywhere. Yeah, he's kind of a reality show in himself, but yeah.
Yeah, and I have the feeling that I'm watching Survivor, political Survivor. Like I could shoot somebody in the middle of Fifth Avenue and blah blah blah. What a ridiculous thing, and they'll follow me all over. Oh God. Yeah,
he looks like he's losing his mind.
That's it.
See, I think he's scary, but to be honest, what really scares me are all of the people that support him, because more often than not, the people, like if I am having a conversation with someone who supports Trump, their only reasoning is he's going to make change, he speaks his mind, that's why I want Trump. And it's like, that to me, that's not enough to qualify a president. I want someone who can be more than simply quote unquote honest.
Yeah. Well, a mother with a baby is going to make a lot of changes too. So there, Did you get my crazy sense of humor there? A mother with a baby is going to make change. Oh, yes. Well, unless you've had a baby, you've never changed their damn diapers.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here all week. Try the veal. He lacks empathy. He really does. I just can't. And I think I've said this before. A president has to become a human being when the election's over. You have to be able to see that president going to a disaster site and putting and walking side by side with people and saying, I'm going to help you, you're going to be okay. All I see Donald Trump saying or hear him saying is, just get over it. If I had to pick myself up and pull myself out of 4 bankruptcies, you can deal with this.
Yeah. Mhm. I tell you, I'm a Republican. You guys are Democrats. But as a Republican, I hear Mr. Trump say about New York, we are going to win New York. We are going to win New York. Mr. Trump, you are flying with your wings down. My God, New York will never go red like you are predicting. Never. It just is not going to happen. The lack of their ability to look at the reality is what really gets to me, and his look has an unreal eye to things.
Well, doesn't he realize that Hillary Clinton was a senator for New York City for years?
Yeah.
I mean, she has quite a bit of a reputation here as well. Now, I live in New York, and if you could just see like all of the posters with X's through his face, the negative Trump materials that you just walk by on a daily basis, I don't think he's necessarily living in reality. He might take New Jersey because he's got Chris Christie, but I don't know.
Yep. Well, I'll be glad when it's all over. That's for one thing for sure. I tell you, this has been one of the weirdest elections that I have ever lived through in 80 years. And I got a feeling it's going to be one of your weirdest too for you guys. By the time you get up to 80, you're going to look back and say, remember that crazy election with Trump and Hillary? Holy shit.
I have a feeling it's going to be a slam dunk, but maybe that's just wishful hoping for me.
Well, I would hope so, because the last slam dunk was with Barry Goldwater, who was an old acquaintance of mine. And, he was Mr. Republican, Mr. Conservative Republican. And Trump is nothing.
Remember, I was earlier on, this is like, I don't know, remember 20 minutes ago, before we started the show, I was telling you guys that I pulled up this article about Donald Trump's association with Roy Cohn.
Oh, yes.
Remember that from 20 minutes ago? Donny remembers, but Ace will probably have to. Since he just turned 80 2 weeks ago. By the way, happy belated birthday.
Yes, I had a nice birthday. I did. I made it to 80. Whoopee doopie. Yeah.
Did you have your skinny dipping party like you wanted?
Oh, yes. And that's, listen, when you reach this age, you should get to have what you want. And that was what I wanted. And I ended up getting it thanks to friends.
Well, we're just glad you put your clothes back on for the photos.
Well, thank goodness you didn't notice I didn't have them on in the photos, but that's beside the point.
Well, okay, enough of that. I pulled up this article because I didn't realize that Donald Trump and Roy Cohn were such like close-knit buddies when Roy Cohn was alive. And for those of you who don't know who Roy Cohn was, he was a reviled, closeted gay hatchet man of the right wing. He was a McCarthyist lawyer, and he is probably most notorious for putting Ethel Rosenberg and her husband to death. What was her husband's name? I'm sorry, I'm a bit scattered. Julius and Ethel Rosenberg to the electric chair after the conviction for espionage back in the 1950s, which you probably remember, Ace.
Yeah, Roy was a brilliant gay man, like many gays are. They're brilliant. But he sure, as a Republican, he sure went down the tubes with all of his really outlandish thinking. See, that's what I was saying. Trump can be very, very intelligent, but he can also be Looney Tunes.
Well, Roy's lover, well, his old lover, Roy Cohn, died of AIDS, and he is actually portrayed in the miniseries version of the play Angels in America, which is a brilliant A, play, and B, miniseries. I don't know if you guys saw it. If you didn't, you should.
I didn't see it.
I didn't either.
Oh, it's an astonishing piece of work. Anyways, he died of AIDS, and he was just a repugnant person. But what Peter Fraser says about Trump is, and this is a quote, I hear Roy and the things Trump says quite clearly, that bravado. And if you say it aggressively and loudly enough, it's the truth. That's the way Roy used to operate to a degree, and Donald was certainly his apprentice.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you just hit on something. He says things over and over. We're going to win New York. We're going to win New York. We're going to win New York. I'm tired of hearing you say that, Donald. I heard it the first time. But you're right. People, they're like, he's like preachers. They say the same thing over and over again. Ye need to be born again, born again, born again, until it's coming out their ass. And they do it, and they get the poor people to believe, because they say things over and over and over, and Democrats do this too, over and over and over, same thing, until people finally believe it, whether it's true or not.
Okay, well, here's something that's really, really telling. He goes on to talk about the candidate's call to bar Muslims from immigrating to the United States until their loyalties can be determined as eerie echoes of the most notorious era of Cohn's career, which was the 1950s, when, as prosecutor, he helped send Julius and Ethel Rosenberg to the electric chair after their convictions for espionage.
And I can't remember what his acquaintanceship was with McCarthy. Do you know? I forget it.
I believe he was a McCarthyist lawyer. That's what.
His lawyer, because I tell you, I suffered the slings of McCarthyism. Oh yes, yes I did.
Well, then you know what it feels like to have that kind of scrutiny rain down on you just because of you fit some sort of vague profile.
Well, it was the old thing of over and over and over again. Ace Lundon is a pinko. A pinko. He has believed some of the communist ideas. So I was therefore called a pinko. And that hurt. It really hurt, because I'm as much of a patriot as I can think to be. I mean, I love this country. Anyway, pinko. So I believe a few things that were a little so-called different. That didn't make me communist.
Here's what Trump says. In the Cold War, and this is something he said about immigrants. In the Cold War, we had an ideological screening test. The time is overdue to develop a new screening test for the threats we face today. That's a parallel that runs a little too close for my liking.
Well, though, there is that is a kind of an important thing, though. For instance, I would like to see in the vetting of the people that are coming in, if, and I call it I don't know whether I call it psychological vetting or whatever it is, but a way of vetting someone without them realizing that they are being vetted. In other words, I come into this country. Let's say that I am a Mormon. I'm not a Mormon. a Muslim. Well, I could be a Mormon. Anyway, say I'm a Muslim. I come into this country, and I go into that office, and there on the office wall is Muhammad is blah, 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 blah. His picture is there, etc., etc. That would bring out in any Muslim their ability to say, you cannot do that. You can't post a picture of Muhammad, blah, blah. You would find out immediately where their psychological bent was. And if they're really, really that strong in their beliefs, you could say, I'm sorry, we don't need you here in this country, because you would want everything to be Muslim. And they could do it with just little things like pictures on the wall, little sayings that are so against them, you'd find out where they really were thinking. But that's it.
That feels so flawed to me, that system, Ace. I'm sorry, I have to disagree.
Okay, what do you think is flawed with it?
Well, I mean, what say we went into another country and they have pictures of let's say they have one of the posters from those horrendous people, the Phelps family, the Westboro Baptists up there that says God hates fags, or there's a rainbow that says gay and there's a big slash through it, or they've got somebody in a rainbow T-shirt and they've got somebody holding a gun to their head. Of course, we're going to stand up for what we believe in, and I think that baiting something like that.
But not to the same degree.
That's not true. We don't know that.
A fanatic would act differently than
just because we haven't acted that way yet doesn't mean there aren't people out there who could.
Well, if a gay person acted fanatically, yeah, he shouldn't be allowed in either. Because we don't need any more fanatics. We got our bushel baskets full of them.
I don't know.
I think it's difficult to gauge fanaticism, though. That's the thing.
Oh, good point. Good point. Good point from our younger crew.
He's always the most level-headed. I know. Ace and I.
Oh no, I'm not.
Well, I mean, what do you think is the split the difference point with what Ace is saying, what I'm saying, Donny?
Well, I mean, I honestly, Sean, I am agreeing with what you're saying because I don't really think we can bar people based on that. But I think the problem is so many people have this definition of fanaticism that is very nebulous. It's not specific, and a lot of people base it off from Donald Trump's impression of what fanaticism is, when in all actuality, everybody has a differing opinion, whether you live in the country or you live in the city, depending on which groups of people you're exposed to. I just think it's something too broad to really grasp.
So we just give up on it then. We don't have to worry about it.
Not give up on it, but continue to discuss it.
Oh, okay. You're in the discussion group, huh?
Yes.
Your system, Ace, feels like, remember the old Schick Center for smoking? Do you remember? I mean, I know that you're a reformed smoker. At this point, you smoke cigars, even though I'm not there in that trailer to keep an eye on you, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I still have colossal weight. So, anyways, but it was a way of response conditioning. And every time you would go to take a hit off a cigarette, they'd shock you.
They shock, yeah. Shock.
Right. So it feels like what you're trying to do is to get a condition you're trying to get a response out of somebody. And what's to say that somebody's not onto that kind of thing and will walk in and go, whatever. It's more important to me to get into this country and then to do what I need to do.
Well, look at the well-trained terrorists. Look at those well-trained terrorists that we've already know about. They're not supposed to see a woman, unclothed or something, and they're not supposed to drink or swear or all of the goody two-shoes things that religions propose, but they do them all. Those two guys that did that awful thing some time back, they had a few drinks beforehand. So the really good fanatical people would be able to beat this idea of mine for sure, because they'd go in and say, oh, look, they're trying to trick me with that poster of Muhammad. Mm-hmm.
Plus, fanaticism works on both sides of the fence too, because you get somebody who is setting up that system and executing it. You get somebody who is charismatic and in a powerful position who then runs with it and takes it to the nth degree. And you've got fanatics executing those kinds of systems on the other side who are then bringing in people who don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
And you go to the complete opposite direction.
It's interesting. Trump wants to ban all Muslims from coming in or whatever, unless they are seriously vetted. You know, oh, of course we seriously vet all of them anyway. But that's his position. Hillary says, I would like to have 65,000 more Syrian refugees come in. So we got one that wants a whole bunch of refugees in, and one that wants to block everything.
Do you know where most of our mass murders are done in the United States of America? In Ohio and in, I believe, Michigan. I read a book on it.
Really?
After we had the mass murder at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, I was very affected, and I just started reading all this information about it. A mass murder is determined by, I believe, it's a situation where 5 or more people are murdered, and it's not just one particular religion. It's all over the spectrum. There are women, there are men. It's all different religions. It's all different races. So I mean, we hear about what we hear about, and we see what's high profile, but it's happening all the time.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to hear about the ones that have to do with ISIS and ISIL, because that's what's going on in the news right now.
Yeah. It brings back the memories of that I have of the KKK when they were killing the Ns, as they called them.
We will call them African Americans.
Yes, they were killing them by the dozens, hanging them from trees so that people could walk by and see another one hanging and another one hanging and another one hanging. And they did this in the name of God. I tell you.
Yes, and on top of that, we still have white on black racism going on.
Oh yeah.
And it is happening in that other element of power on the other side of the fence, as I was talking about before, because we're seeing a lot of it being exposed in our police force. And granted, there's violence all over there, I'm sure. Although I'm happy that we have the police force, but Donny's right. There's a delicate balance that has to be considered.
Yes, for sure.
So
yeah.
I think we should let our most level-headed person take over and let Ace and I cool off while Donny.
Well, let's take a break and do some advertisements.
Okay.
All right. So let's give a big thank you to our sponsors. First off, we'd like to thank an awesome company run by our brilliant engineer, miraculous Mike Means, and his lovely wife, our girl Juanita, for great stage and theatrical design, as well as jewelry design, audio, and video editing. And please go visit their website at eclectic-resources.net, excuse me. Next, and equally as fabulous, let's thank our friends at Diversity Rules Magazine, a wonderful LGBT-focused online magazine that can be found at diversityrulesmagazine.com. They also have an app for the smartphone, Diversity Rules Magazine, celebrating the diversity of our humanity. And we are thrilled to now be featured on Next Big Thing Radio, which is a terrific podcasting website featuring funny and informative shows from our fellow podcasters. And the URL to that site is nextbigthingradio.net. They also have an app for the smartphone. And if you would like to learn more about the legendary Ace Lundon, you can visit his blog, Scattered Thoughts from a Scrambled Brain, where he waxes funny and philosophic thoughts on a wide range of topics. And you can find that at acelundon.wordpress.com. If you enjoy watching YouTube videos, check out my own YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Donny Winter, where I discuss a variety of subjects ranging from my own experiences being a bullying survivor and a person who has survived sexual assault. And I'd like to talk a lot about that with regard to the LGBT community. So feel free to go subscribe to my channel and check that out. To learn more about Sean Chandler. You can visit his writer's website at seanwchandler.com or follow him on Twitter at SeanWithFlash. And of course, visit the new Lundon Calling London Bridge website for posted shows and updates, london-calling.com, and also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/LondonBridge. And Sean, I think you should do a plug about At the Flash.
Okay.
Just saying.
Thank you. My play that I wrote with my husband, David Leeper, who he performs it, is running this Thursday, tomorrow, Friday, and Sunday for the Fringe Festival. And if you go tomorrow or Friday, get tickets for tomorrow or Friday, we're giving away free sports bottles. Let's say At the Flash on them and Fringe. And then the following Wednesday, well, that's just our closing night. So we only have 4 more performances, and I think we're actually almost selling out. Yeah, we're pretty close to selling out our last 2 performances. So it's going really, really well. And thank you for doing that. And see other shows at Fringe. I've seen probably about 4 or 5, and I'm having a really good time. Everyone's really loving it.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
just so exciting.
That's good to hear, Sean.
Like as a writer or an aspiring writer, it's very uplifting to see your success with writing, and I think it's really awesome. So, yay!
It's especially when you know the really uphill climb that writers have. You know,
It hasn't been easy. This has been our 7th production of At the Flash, and we started doing productions back in 2012 when the play won the Pride Films and Plays Gay Screenplay Competition. Not screenplay, gay play and musical competition. Sorry about that. Although they do, Pride Films and Plays does have a screenplay competition, but I haven't won that. And it's been a very, very long, crazy road that's taken us everywhere, but has ended us up here in New York. And it's a dream come true for me to have wanted since I was a teenager, and then had so many roadblocks thrown at me, become a writer and have something in New York. So that's why I posted that thing on Facebook where I'm like, okay, I just got to take a minute to realize this happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, you forget about it while I'm in all the production elements and scanning tickets and throwing sound cues, and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought that stumbling blocks were actually stepping stones. You know,
I like that.
When you hit a stumbling block in life, and when we hit them, you can use that as a stepping stone instead of letting it take you down. So I that's kind of been the way that I've lived. It's like my bowl of cherries. You know, and I tell you, I have a lot of cherries in my bowl. I love it. Mm-hmm.
Well, are you with the camp that says no just stands for new opportunity?
I like that.
Ooh, me too.
I like that.
I wish I made it up, but yeah, I didn't.
Hey, what was the name of that club down in Orlando?
Pulse.
Oh, the Pulse. Okay, I was thinking of that again recently, and I'm saying to myself, I hate to say this, but maybe the murderer of those dear people down at the Pulse was actually a tormented, closeted gay man because of his religion, which dictated to him what he should be doing. And now, of course, this is not black. It's a maybe. This is a maybe. It's a possibility that he was a closeted gay man, and because of his religion, it dictated him to kill all of those gay people down there. Holy mackerel. Yeah. And I'm saying, well, it's another closeted gay man who went insane because of his religion's teachings and about homosexuality and his own inability to actually reconcile the teachings with the reality that was inside of himself. He was still closeted and unable to get past the teachings of his religion, and thus went completely off the hook and insane and killed a bunch of people. Now
that was a theory.
that was
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. It's my theory. How do you know about it? I never told anybody about this.
Well, other people have theories, Ace.
Okay, they do. Oh my God, I'm learning so much in this show.
You're 80 years old and you're still learning about yourself. That's what I love about you. One of the many things. No, that was a theory, and I'm trying to go back to information I pulled for one of the shows, but it was said that someone had said that he had an issue seeing two gay men kissing, and that kind of sent him over the edge.
That sends me over the edge too. I like to see that.
Well, it freaked him out, and not
in an arousing way.
Oh shoot!
He didn't get the big pants, or maybe he did, and he got upset about it.
Yeah.
And there were there was some guy who went on the news. I don't know if you guys remember this or if you remember it, Donny, but some guy went on the news and gave an interview that said that he was his lover, but he had his face made up to be, I don't know if that's how he looked. It was not a flattering look for him. But some guy went on and went under makeup and said, I was a lover of this man.
Oh God.
And nothing has
not see that. That's interesting.
It's nothing has really come of it other than when the cops are saying, or the detectives are saying, we don't have anything that backs up any of this.
Right. I remember the only reasoning they could think of was the fact that he had gone to the Pulse nightclub before and other people there had noted it. But we don't know if he was going there to scope out the place or if he was actually going there to participate in the atmosphere,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's another theory. And really, I don't think all has been said and done. I mean, this literally just happened like 2 months ago.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he's dead. I shouldn't say so, but I'm glad he's dead, so we don't have to worry about him.
Oh, I'm glad he's dead too.
I couldn't take another O.J. Simpson court trial on television. Oh yeah.
I don't think it would have been another O.J. Simpson trial of the century. I think that guy would have very easily been convicted and probably put to death.
Yeah, but I mean, look at how
whatever goes on in Florida.
Look at how the news media just goes on and on and on, like with O.J. Simpson. I mean, I don't know how many months that was on television. Okay, the news should not need to have to do that. They should say, here's what happened, here's what's happening, etc., and give us the facts, ma'am.
Well, they have lots of air to feel now that there's 24-hour news and
oh, that's true.
24-hour internet and blogs, and they've got stuff that they've got to fill and clicks that they have to accomplish, and absolutely. Oh no, it's like on loop if you watch any of the news channels.
Yeah.
So, hey guys, there's other things going on besides the election and politics and whatnot. And what I'm talking about is the Olympics. Are you watching any of the Olympics?
Yeah.
Is it something besides gymnastics?
Interestingly, a person from my hometown who I went to high school with was in the Olympics this year. Alex Rose. I don't know if you heard of him. He was throwing discus, but that's my neat little tidbit.
Very cool. That's very good. Has he medaled?
I'm not sure. I would need to go check on that, but I'm not sure yet.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I watch the Olympics a little bit. Oh, what I want to watch, that's basic. I'm very picky and choosy that way. I love diving. Okay. You knew I would.
Okay, you're 80. You can say that.
You knew I would.
So I have a potential ass chap. I don't know if Sean, by bringing up this topic, if you were going in that same direction or not, but we will see. So I don't know if you guys noticed this in the news, but I read an article the other day where someone from the online site, the Daily Beast,
Ding, 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 ding,
um,
ding,
yep,
ding.
outed a bunch of athletes on Grindr by posing as a gay man, and it's called Grindr baiting, where you pose as a gay man and you're a straight person and you're just trying to get attention, or you're trying to see what response you get. And in this article that I read by Mark Joseph Stern, which basically criticizes this man. I'm trying to find this man's name. I can't remember his name. Well, this article's criticizing the guy that outed all of these gay athletes, because some of these gay athletes came from countries where it is not acceptable and it is potentially dangerous to be gay. And essentially, in his article, he writes that the person criticizing the guy writes that Grindr is considered a safe place in the gay community. And I wanted to bring that question to the forefront for us, because this whole situation is kind of an ass chat for me. Because one, I don't like the fact that this guy outed a bunch of gay people and caused a potential dangerous situation for them. But in the back of my mind, I keep asking myself the question, is Grindr really a safe place?
That's a good question, Donny. I tell you, I cannot tell you how many people I would like to have outed over my 80 years and 40 years as an activist, and when I've been out of the closet myself. I lost track of that number a long time ago. There have been so many people that I would love to have outed, but I kept saying to myself, I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's the correct thing to do. No, I didn't want anyone to out me. We have to come out in our own time, in our own way, not have some um, crazy man on Grindr saying, "Oh, look at this boy,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah," and then he has to go back to say Morocco or someplace like that and get killed. You know?
Right, and well, I'll let you weigh in too, Sean, first before I make my next statement.
Well, the guy's name is Nico Hines. This is the guy who wrote the article
Mm-hmm.
for Daily Beast. The Olympic, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, has frowned upon that, and since Daily Beast has been on total damage control, they pulled him from the job. They pulled down all of his. They've apologized. They've done all this crap. Um, and I think that I don't know. I mean, I'm married. I don't have an open marriage. I don't go on Grindr. I don't have any reason to. I wouldn't. The only reason why I thought it was fun in the beginning was because it was like gaydar. Like you'd be like, that guy is gay for sure. I
It's like
think that,
Pokemon Go, but for gays. Essentially, it's the same concept.
Okay, now you hit a nerve with me. What in the hell is Pokemon Go?
Oh, it's that virtual game that people get on their mobile devices where they can just go out and catch random critters outside and stuff.
Oh, I
well,
I mean, people have time to do that sort of crap. Holy mackerel!
Yes.
God. Well, that may be why I don't play any games.
Oh, that was awesome, Ace.
well, Donny has that kind of time on summer break.
Yeah,
True. Actually, I've been working all summer and I still have the time.
God.
But anyway, back to the whole grinder kerfuffle. So, if I think I've mentioned this on the show before, and I've mentioned it in countless YouTube videos, I am not a fan of Grinder at all. I think it's very dangerous, not only in the sense that you are talking to people you don't know at all, and you can track other people, but it's a very, very sexual atmosphere. People will always say that Grinder is not designed for sexualness. But I've actually kind of used the app before to see what it was like, and the questions on there are very geared toward sex. And for me, a person who has been sexually assaulted before, that kind of makes it not seem like a safe place to me, because some of the comments that I have seen other people get and some of the comments that I have received on there have been kind of invasive. And in my mind, I'm like, if people can be outed like this and be put on the spot when they're trying to not be out there, doesn't that make it dangerous? Is it
Is
really a safe place for gay people?
is Grinder like farmersonly.com or something? You know, where you get dates?
E-
It's more
I've
about
never been
sex dates, and Farmers Only, I think, is for ladies. So that's probably why you're not getting any action on the website, Ace.
on. Okay.
No, like farmersonly.com is much different than Grinder. Grinder is this app that you can get on your smartphone that connects to the GPS, and it actually tracks how close you are to other gay people.
Well, I prefer just plain old pornography to something like that.
Well, it's a hookup app,
Yeah.
Essentially, yes.
and it's you make dates. You say, hey, you're so and so far away, and I am here. Let's get together and do it.
Hmm.
Right.
That's
Now,
what it's for.
don't get me wrong, it's not that I have an aversion to some lovin', but at the end of the day, you got to know who you're loving, right?
You better.
Well,
You better vet them.
far be it from me to slut shame, because slut shaming is a big deal to certain people. If that's what they want to do, fine. But it's like having an open relationship. If
Mhm.
you're going to put yourself out there in that precarious situation, you're going to have to deal with it with whatever comes back to you. You can't expect people that you don't know to keep your secret. So
Exactly.
Good
if
thought. Good.
so that's I don't know, it frustrates me. But I also think that what this guy did was absolutely completely unethical and unsafe. And I want to tell you why. And that's because while I was looking in the sports area of some of our local, some of our more, some of the websites we go to, like, Advocate and Toll Road and stuff, um, recently there was a gay Liberian football player named Andrew Nogby who was seized by Swedish authorities while partaking in LGBT pride events at Stockholm Pride Festival in July, and he's now being deported back to Liberia,
Oh
uh,
God.
where homosexuality is illegal, and he's in grave danger of violence and imprisonment.
Yeah.
All this guy wants to do is play football and live openly as a gay man in Sweden, and he says he will suffer abuse. He'll be beaten in prison and raped every day. And now that everyone in Liberia knows that he's gay, they will not hold back.
I don't know why our government doesn't, when they hear of some um, man like that is being really in dire straits in their lives because of their particular governments. I don't see why we can't get them over here. They should be taken in here. You know.
Well, we have international laws that we have to adhere to, and so that's what pisses me off, and I'm going to tie this together with your ass chap, which is what you brought up, Donny, is that here's this man who's just trying to live his life openly, and he's not on a hookup app. He's just saying, this is what I want to do here. And he is being put in danger for being genuine. And then these guys go and they're leading their lives in the closet, looking for hookup sex on Grindr. And yet we protect them. Like they're upset that they're getting called out and that they're going to be hurt, yet they're living in the closet, but this guy is living a genuine life and he's actually going to be hurt. It
Yeah.
just it rings bells all over my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I don't know what to say about Grindr, to be honest with you. I don't
Well,
use it. So
having never seen it, I don't really either. But I don't like the sound of it. But
I mean, I think it's great that there's another way for gay people to encounter one another, but based on the context, I was upset over the fact that this individual was saying that it's a safe place for gay people when it really isn't a safe place for all gay people. I don't know. I really hate generalizing, and that statement sounds super generalizing, and I was just like, mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I would be participating. Were I in that scenario, were I an athlete and closeted gay, and I knew that I had that kind of exposure, I certainly wouldn't be doing that at the Olympics. I mean, use your head.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like that's common sense.
Yeah, right.
I,
But you know,
I tell my friends in foreign countries where they would be persecuted that if they're coming out, to be very careful because they could easily be killed, you know, or tortured, etc. So I tell them, you be very careful. You got to use your the brain that God gave you, you know, and there's not much else we can do outside of them just tell them that we're here, that we love them, and we know that they're going through hell because they're in a closet and they don't want to be, you know. But just be very, very careful.
Hmm.
yeah, Donnie, don't you feel like it's almost like it's a double-sided sword? It's like, okay, reporter, you really shouldn't have done that, but hey, athletes, the hell did you expect was going to happen?
Yeah.
Right.
I feel
Yeah,
like,
I feel like it is definitely a double-edged sword.
yeah, I just, it's it bugged me, and it just bugs me that here's this man trying to live a genuine life, and he's the one who's going to be deported back and is going to go to Liberia where people are brutal and horrible, and they have just it makes me crazy.
I know, me too. I'm with you.
Wow.
So what's your ass chap, Donnie? What do we have to say? That we agree, we disagree, or what?
Oh, I mean, I don't. There is no agree or dis. I mean, you guys can agree or disagree with one. I just wanted to mention that my ass was chapped based on the situation.
I see. Okay. I can totally understand that.
Well, in that case, both of Donnie's cheeks were chapped.
Yeah.
It's chapped if you do, and you're chapped if you don't.
Yeah.
Guys, I think we're like almost coming to the end of the show. So
You're kidding. It's gone by that fast. Holy mackerel. Yeah, okay.
what
Well,
happens when you're 80? Everything just happens a lot.
everything's so
You're
fast.
just hurtling towards the.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop. No more jokes about being 80.
Well, I certainly do pick on you at 50, I tell you.
You do indeed. So I have to line in.
And I love it. Oh, goodness. Well, folks, we've talked about a number of things, but one thing we have talked about is political correctness. Good Lord in heaven. It is a total infringement upon the freedom of an individual to become who they are and all that they can or might be. Political correctness. It keeps people from learning whether they are an angel or an asshole. You know. Anyway, so to hell with political correctness. I say, folks, okay, you know, how long would it take for this thing called hate speech to get into play if homosexuals had a book that religious people should be stoned to death? Now, the religious people got a book that says we should be stoned to death. I wonder how long it would take for hate speech to arise if it were the shoe on the other foot. Well. Folks, thank you very much for listening. We do love you all. You know that, I'm sure. And we love ourselves first because we couldn't love you if we didn't love ourselves. And that is a truism. So if you're having trouble loving anyone, check yourself. Check yourself out first. Okay, folks. Red and yellow, black or white. We're all precious in the sight of our Maker. Believe me. Okay. I think it's time to say goodbye, Sean, and good night, Donny, and good night, Spider-Man.